Hello guys, welcome to Wonders Graphics tutorial, and in this video I'm going to introduce you to the Photoshop application. Photoshop is a great application for photo editing, designing, photo manipulation, digital art and a whole lot. This video is for beginners and anybody out there who hasn't used the application before and want to know how to use this great application in editing their pictures and doing a whole lot. So at the end of this video you will know how to work in Photoshop, how Photoshop works and how you use this great tool in editing pictures and doing a whole lot. So without much talking, let's dive into the full video. So when you open the Photoshop application, this is how it shows. This is what we call the home screen. So from here we can open an existing document or an image. Then we can also create a new document. So we'll go ahead and create a new document. We go to File and then New. And this brings us to the new document window. On top here are preset document sizes, which we can choose from and edit. These are preset for photos. You can see different sizes. These are for print. You can see them. We have different papers, A4, A3, A5 and others. And we have preset for art and illustration, web, etc. So we will just pick one and then edit. I'll go with this one. And then on the right hand side, this is where we would edit the details of our document. This is where we write the title of our document. We call this one example 1, and these are dimensions of the document in inches. We can change inches to centimeters, pixels, the one we are familiar with, but it's always good to use pixels because that's how you know how large the image is going to be on the screen, because everything we see on the screen is in pixels. Okay, then these are the dimension size. I'll go with 1920 by 1080, and then here you can change the orientation. And this is what we call resolution in pixels per inch. When we talk about resolution determines how sharp your image will be, If you use lower resolutions, your image is not going to be sharp. Okay, so this resolution is in pixels per inch. So this 300 means in an inch of the image we are creating, we're going to have how many pixels? We're going to have 300 pixels in an inch. And I hope you know pixels already. Pixels are the small boxes that come together to form an image. Every image is made up of tiny boxes coming together. Okay, so it's always good to use higher resolution so that you get a sharper image. And the general idea here is that when you are going to print your image, always use 300 or more ppi. If the work you are doing at the end you are going to print it, you will print it out, use 300 or more. If you use less than 300, you may not get that quality image that you want. When it comes out, it will look good on the screen, but when it comes out, it will not look as good as you see it on the screen, because the pixels in an inch, that's the details in the picture is very low. So in this example, we are not going to print our work, so I'll just go with something like 100. 100 is not bad. I can go with 72, 96. Those are resolutions of some screens. Okay, and this is color mode. This color mode is the the colors Photoshop is going to mix together to produce your image. Okay, we have different color modes: bitmap, grayscale, RGB stands for red, green, and blue, and then we have CMYK, cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. K is for black. RGB is mostly used for screens and displays. Screen uses RGB because it's very clear and it's very clear or vivid. And CMYK is used in printers. It's used in printers. The pigment in printers are CMYK. They are not that clear. They don't really look good on the screen. Okay, but when you print them out, they are good. Okay, so over here, if you're going to print your work, choose CMYK. CMYK. If you choose RGB and then you send it for printing, the printer will have to convert RGB to CMYK, and you may lose some details. You will lose some details. So always stick to CMYK if you are going to print your work. If you are not going to print your work, choose RGB. Okay, so this way we are not going to print it. RGB default. And then this is bits. Bits is a space. Okay, it's a space for the colors. Each color, each channel of those colors, RGB. If you choose one color, we have many tones in each color. This bit 10 is a little advanced, but I will just give you the general overview. Okay, each of the channels RGB, those three colors, they have different tones. So 8-bit, in 8-bit, when you do the math, red will have 256 tones, green will have 256 tones, and then blue will have 256 tones. Those are different shades of red, green, and blue. So everything coming together, you get about 16 million possible colors with this 8-bit. But the problem sometimes arises when you are doing heavy editing on the image. If you choose 8-bit, the image is 8-bit, and you are doing heavy editing like you are using gradient. Gradient is very uniform. So sometimes if you choose 8-bit image and then you apply gradient and you start pushing the curves, adjustment, and you also start pushing saturation, what will happen is that you may end up in a tone in those RGB which is not found in the 256 of each. Okay, you may end up maybe in a red tone which is not found in the 256. So if that happens, that tone is going to fall on one of the 256. Okay, so that will create what we call banding in the image. So sometimes you see a gradient and then it doesn't look smooth, and it will look like sharp. It will look sharp instead of it being uniform. That's what we call banding. So if you're not going to do heavy editing on your image, just choose 8-bit. It's cool. But if you're going to do heavy editing, choose 16-bit. Okay, and the advantages and disadvantages that 16-bit you have a large file in megabyte, 8-bit you have small file in megabyte. And then at the end of everything, if you export your work in JPEG, it's going to be saved in 8-bit. Yeah, JPEG is 8-bit. Okay, so this example, we are not going to do much editing, so we'll go with 8-bit. This is background color, we leave it white, it's okay. This color profile, is coming from here. Okay, always you choose this, it's default. Color profile is good. And then don't touch the square pixels, leave them. If you change this, you may pick an aspect ratio which is not square, and what will happen is that you may have a square image, maybe your dimensions will be the same, but the image will not appear the same because of the ratio of the pixels you pick. So just stick with square pixels. Then we will create. Now we are in the Photoshop interface. Let me do a quick reminder. all the stuff we did from at the new document window, we can change all of them here. Okay, so maybe you chose, let's say, color mode RGB, and then after you started doing it, you say, oh, I want to bring this way. So you can change all those settings we did over there. You can change them when you come here. Okay, so it's not like something which is fixed and you come here, you can change. Okay, you can change them here. If you want to change the color mode, you can go to image and mode. You see them. You can change the bit too. Okay, so this is the interface as I was said. The first thing we do is that we will set the same workspace, so that I want all of us to set the same workspace, so that what your screen doesn't look different from mine. Your screen may be looking different from mine based on the version you are using, but that one is cool. Okay, you can use any version for the tutorial, it's cool. So we'll go to window and then head to workspace and then select essentials. If yours is already on essentials, go down to reset essentials. Good, and now we are back to default. Okay, so this is the interface. On top here, this is what we call the menu bar, and as you know, it contains options. These are commands. Just like every other application, we have file here. This is where we can save, open, export, and all stuff. And then we have edit here. You can copy cards, all those things. Okay, you can transform here. And then image. This is for adjusting image, such as if you want to do brightness, color tone, you want to do curves, saturation, hue, you do them here. And then this menu is for the layers panel. This is for the typing tool, and this is for the selection tool. These are filters. You can do blur, sharp, or you can do them here. And then this is for 3D work. This is what it's about, how you see things, view. You can change stuff here, and you can arrange stuff here, and then toggle some panels off here. And then if you need help, just go here. Okay, cool. And then beneath the menu bar, we have the options control bar. Options control bar. This options control bar, it works for the tools. Each tool, if you select a tool, it will give you options available for that tool. Okay, and then this bar is the document tab. Okay, you have, if you open multiple documents, multiple images separately, they will align up here. Depending on settings you've done at the window side, you can change how they align, but basically default they will be here. Different documents. You can work on many documents at the same time. You can work on many pictures at the same time. Okay, that's Photoshop for you. And this is your canvas. This is where all your editing goes on, and this is what you are going to export your final work. This is where it's going to be. And on the left side, this is the tools panel contains tools which you use to you affect image on the canvas. Affect image on the canvas. And when you come to the right hand side, these are also different panels. There are many panels. We have color, swatches, gradient, patterns, properties, adjustment, a lot of them. Some they have not been toggled on, so you can see them. So I like to organize my workspace in such a way that things will look simple. So these panels, normally I close them. You can lift these panels around, okay, and put them wherever you want. Okay, you can put them wherever you want. You can keep it here. Okay, yeah, and then you can close them. If you don't need them, just close them. Close. So this group, I can lift it to this side, and then so if I don't need any of them, I'll just click here, close tab, and they are all gone. And properties, adjustments, You can close. So normally I close or leave in properties and layers and these ones. That let me just close all this. You can get them back if you want them back. So if you want any panel with disabled, you just go up here, window. You can see them, they are here. Most of them have not been toggled on when we opened it. You can switch any of them on here. Okay, cool. So now we leave what the layers, channels, and path, and everything looks simple. Everything looks simple now. Now let's look at the tools and uses of most of them. Uses of some of these tools. Okay, you will not. There are some tools here you will never use because the work that they do, you have an alternate way of doing it easily. So some of these tools you won't be using them, but there are some which are very important. So let's look at those ones. The first tool is called the Move tool. Those using current versions of Photoshop, if you hover on the tool, you see the name and how it is used will be demonstrated to you. Okay, if you're on CS6, CS5, you won't have this. Okay, sorry. So this is for moving objects on the canvas, around the canvas. Let me demonstrate that. I'll just create a shape here, and then I'll grab the Move tool. You click on it, hold, and then drag. You move it around. Okay, that's the Move tool. The name even tells you what they use it. And then this is called rectangular marquee tool, as it is there. We have other tools hidden beneath it. Whenever you point on a tool and you find this small arrow which is pointing down like this, it means there are other tools which are similar to that tool or has similar uses to that tool hidden beneath it. So you just click and hold the left mouse button, and then it will reveal those tools. You can select any of them. Okay, so these marquee tools, they are used for selection. For selection, I will demonstrate that one to you too right now. So let me do something like this. And I just want to demonstrate the use of. So you pick these two, and then you want to select parts of this. So I can do a selection like this. Okay, then I can carry it around. So if I want to move what I've selected, what tool would I use? The Move tool. So I have to go back and pick the Move tool. You can press V on the keyboard. It will take you straight to the Move tool without moving your mouse up and down, up and down. Okay, and another thing is that whenever you are on a tool and you want to get back to the Move tool, just hold Control on PC. Mark is command. Those using Mac, command. You hold the command and then don't leave it. Keep holding. You see your cursor has changed to the Move tool. Then you can move the selection around, still holding the control button, the control key. Okay, so that is the use of the rectangular marquee tool for selecting objects. Okay, and after using this tool, you see there's a selection around the what we moved. You have to deselect it. If you don't deselect it, whatever you do or try to affect the selection, the part which you've selected, whatever you do will try affecting that place. And sometimes it becomes you may be trying to maybe paint here, and it's not working. Okay, you're trying to paint here, but it's not working. Why? Because this side is selected. The part which is selected is where you can paint. You understand? So because of that, you have to deselect. Whenever you use those tools, you use the marquee tool, lasso tool, magic wand tools, those selection tools. There are 3 over there. You have to deselect after using them. Okay, and you saw me doing this and then reverting it. I did what? Undo. We have undos and redo commands in Photoshop. So let's say you've done this and then you want to go back to how it was. You go to edit, you have what? Undo. Control plus what? Z. So you can just use what? The shortcut Control plus Z. You go back once. If you've done it multiple times, Control plus Z again, and then the other one goes. You can have, I think the default is 50 or so. I don't really know, but you can set it. How many times you can go back? You can set it. Okay. Yeah. So if you do something and you want to go back, you want to undo it, Control plus what? Z, Command plus Z on Mac, and you can also what? Redo. You can redo. Maybe I undo. I erase what I did, and I want to bring it back. You can redo, and then it will come back. Shift Control Z, Shift Control Z, or Shift Command Z on Mac. Okay, whenever I say Control, I'm on PC. Those on Mac, it's what? Command. Okay, you know that already. Good. So I will deselect. To deselect this, just like I was talking about, you either select one of these tools. If you want to deselect what? A selection, you select one of the selection tools, you right click and go to what? Deselect. Or on the keyboard, Control plus what? D to deselect. Now it's gone. Okay, so that's the rectangular marquee tool. Then we have what? Lasso tool. This is also used for what? Selection. The first one is used for free hand selection. You do free, you can just do something like this. You see it's selected, so I can move it around. Okay, cool. Undo, and if you hold it, click and hold, you see other tools underneath. This one is the polygon tool for what? Drawing. Selecting straight, you draw and then you select. Okay, and then we have what? Magnetic lasso tool. This one uses what? Some sensors to sense where what where the pixels are, let's say, darker. Yeah, and then it will do the selection. Okay, it detects the pixels and it will do selection. So if I want to select all this, everything, I'll just click here once, and then I'll be moving, no clicking, you're just moving what? Along the edge. It will automatically what? Select for you using what? It's magnetic sensors. It will select for you automatically. Okay, you just move around, slowly and carefully, and then you come back to where you started. Whenever you are doing selection, you end at where you started. Okay, you click. Now you see the selection has been made. I can move it around. Okay, I can move it around. Step back, undo. Cool. That's what the magnetic lasso tool. And then we have magic wand tool. This one is used for selecting what? Quick. It's very quick. This one, it's very quick. So suppose I want to select this. If you can see that this has what? Uniform color. Everywhere is what? Sea blue, uniform color. So when I click once, it selects everything. So that tool detects what? Colors which are the same, and then select them together if they are close. Okay, this one too can be selected. But suppose we have different what? Colors around. Suppose we had a different color around. Let me demonstrate that. See this. Suppose it was like this, and then we are using these two. You see, it's selected what? Only the blue, leaving what? The black out. It's selected only the blue, leaving the black out. So we can move what? Only the blue. You see, it left the black out because that one is a different color. So that's the use of that to magic 1 2. It's very quick when you are removing background, and then you can see that maybe the subject, it has different color compared to the background. You can just use that to, it's very quick. Okay, cool. And let's go back to, this is for what, cropping. Maybe you want to change the size of what your image, you just hold and then what, you change it. After cropping, you may lose what, you can see when you go up here, you see what, delete cropped pixels, Photoshop, and the new versions. You will see this. If you take this, after I have cropped my image like this, the part which I cropped is gone forever. You will not get it. You only get it unless you go hold, you do a step back. If you do step back, you will get it. But without step back, you will not get it. It's gone. Yeah, I don't know if other people have ways of getting it back, but it's gone. Okay, let me step back. So if you don't want to lose what, the part you cropped, always untick this, delete cropped pixels, so that when you do cropping like this, and then you apply, if you want to apply a crop, just hit enter, or what, go and click on the move to. Okay, and it will what, take effect. So I'll just hit enter. Now I've cropped the image. That part is gone, but it's still hidden what, in Photoshop, because they are not deleted. So if I go back to what, do another cropping, if I want to crop again and then crop, you can see they are there. You see them, they are still there. So I can still go back to where, how it was. Cool. And then we are back to how it was. Okay, let's continue. This is what, frame 2. Frame 2 is used for, you look at the diagram, you see how it is used. Okay, that's a frame 2. I don't use it a lot. And we have the eyedropper 2 is used for selecting what, colors, for sampling colors. Let me show you that. So if I want to select this color to paint somewhere, and I don't want to go here and then maybe search for the color. Let's say I want to select this, paint this blue. It will be hard for me to find the exact blue. Okay, it will be hard for me to find the exact blue. But if I pick the eyedropper 2 and then click on this left, you see it selects what, that blue. It samples that blue for me. I can use it to what, paint different places the same blue. I can also what, sample different what, different. Where is the eyedropper 2? Oh, come on. You see it selects. You see, so that's what the eyedropper 2. Okay, and then this one is called spot healing brush. We would come to that too later. And then this is what, brush. This is what I'm drawing it around with. This, you can change a lot of what options up here. If you have been taking note, whenever I click on the tool, you see the options on top there changes. Okay, on the option bar you see changes over there. Yeah, that's other what ways which you can use the two options available. So let's look at the brush tool. When you click the brush tool, you can just press B on the keyboard to give you the brush tool. It's used for drawing, okay, for painting around. Cool. So that's the brush tool. You can change how it looks, the shape, and how it strokes. You can change them. You can see my brush tool doesn't look round as yours because I've adjusted it. Okay, so if you want to change the brush, anything, something about the brush, you just do what? Right click, and then you have the options. So from here you can what? Change the roundness. Cool. This is 100%. You can change the roundness. You can change the direction. Okay, for those who do calligraphy, you know what I'm talking about. You can change the direction, the roundness. You can change the size too here. The size, how big it looks. Okay, you can see the size. Right click. You can change take very big pixels, 143 pixels. There is a size, and you can change the hardness. The hardness is what? The edges, how smooth the edges are. Okay, so look at this. Let me take 0% hardness. You see it's fading, and then if you choose something different, you see, so that's what we call hardness. And then we have many different brushes here, preset brushes. You can choose from any of these. You can create your own custom brush, which I'll be teaching you in another video. Custom brush. And so that is the brush tool for you, and you can do what I was doing here. You can do most of them here, and there are other options all here too. There's the opacity. You can decrease the opacity, you see. Okay, and then bring it back. Yeah, that's opacity. You can decrease the flow. The flow is how the color flows. The flow is how the color flows. Wow. So look at it. Look at this. And then let me click on it again. You see, it's becoming deeper. That's what the flow. The flow. This is light. When you keep clicking, it will be increasing. And then smooth. Don't fill this. Okay, if you fill this, if you see that your brush is behaving slowly, then probably you have enable smoothing. Okay, so if you enable smoothing, your brush will to be very slow. Okay, to be very slow. Step back. So go and don't feel this smooth. Okay, leave it. Cool. And then let me bring the flow back to 100. So that's the brush to. Okay, and this is blend mode. You can change blend mode here. I'll talk about blend mode when I start talking about layers very soon. And we have clone stamp tool. I don't really use this tool. Brush. So this one you can use it to bring back a part you erase or painted with different color. And we have eraser. People love eraser. You just erase. Let me just erase what I don't want. Okay, my canvas looks messy. Yes, erase all this. Erase all this. Cool. So I want to erase this part. So I decrease the size of the brush. I decrease the size by, you can press Alt on the keyboard and then right click. You scroll. You move the mouse to the right, it will increase. To the left, it will decrease. When you go up, you are reducing the hardness. You come down, increasing the hardness. So you can, all the stuff which you use you found on the right mouse button, you can just do them here with holding Alt. If you don't hold Alt, it won't come. Hold Alt and then right click. Start hold the mouse button and then start moving. Start moving. Cool. So that is that. And let's move on. This is gradient tool for creating gradient on your canvas. Let me demonstrate that. You can see this is a very beautiful gradient. That's a gradient. You can go any direction. You can change the mode here. Okay, maybe you want radial, angled, reflected. They are all here. You can change them, and the opacity and everything is up here. So let me step back. And this blur tool for blurring part of the image. Okay, for blurring area. So you just click, hold, and you smudge. You click, hold, and then you hold it. So you can see the edges are becoming blur. Yeah, you can change the strength. I did change the strength up here. You can change the strength. You can right click to change the size, the hardness, and everything, just like the brush tool. And then when you hold it, you see other tools hidden under a sharpen tool, smudge tool. Very useful tool. Okay, and let's move. This is dodge for making parts and brighter parts more bright. Okay, for making part of the image which is bright more bright. Pen tool for making part of the image which is dark more dark. Okay, those are those tools. And then pen tool, a very important tool in Photoshop. Pen tool, it's used for drawing custom shapes, paths. Okay, so let me demonstrate. You click and hold, you see handles. Okay, you click. If you want to make it what round, you click and hold and drag. Okay, so you can see that's what the pen tool. This, I've drawn a path. I can use this path to create what selection by right clicking it and going to what make selection. So you can use the pen tool to what make selection, just like the selection tools up there. You can use the pen tool to also make selection. So this comes and then feather. I'm not going to feather it. So, okay, and then you can see selection has been made. I can move it around by grabbing the move tool. Okay, cool. You understand? So that's the pen tool. You can also use it to draw custom shape. I use it for a path. So when you want to draw shape with my pen tool, you click on the pen tool, come up here. You can see we have shape, path, bezels. So select shape, and then you can draw a shape with a pen tool. Okay, this is a custom shape. Wow, there's an egg. This Christmas egg, a very big Christmas egg. Okay, so that's the pen tool. That's basically the use. I'll do a video and demonstrate how you can use the pen tool. It's very useful tool in Photoshop. Okay, so let me delete it. And this is what the typing tool for typing. I will demonstrate this. So if you want to type something, you can just click like this, and then it will open the tab for you. Then you type whatever you want. You can't see it because it's white. Let me change the color. So let me go back. So let me change the color to black. Okay, you can change the color up here. Whenever you click on it too, I've told you when you come up here, you find what options up here. Okay, so this is where we change what the font star here, whether you want bold, regular, depending if it's available for the font. And then this is where you change your size, and then I don't even know what this is about, but I always see sharp, strong. And then this is where you change what the orientation, right? Orientation, yeah, whether you want it to come from the alignment. That's the word I'm looking for, alignment. Justified, and then from the right, the color is here. You can bend it here if you want to bend the text and order. You can do that here. There's a better way of doing that bending. We will learn that. And then we have these two. It will show you what characters. You can change a lot of things about what the text here, and then paragraph and everything. Okay, so that is the text tool. The basic use of the text tool. Come to path selection tool. I don't use this shape. Shape tool. So these two, they are used for drawing shapes. You can see them here: rectangle, round, rectangle, ellipse to triangle to polygon, custom to custom. These ones are what presets. We have preset shapes, custom shape to, you see preset shapes here. You can pick from any of them, and then you draw it. Cool. So if you want to draw something, let me demonstrate it. I have been demonstrating it in the whole video, but let me just do it again. This is it, and it comes. Cool. That's the shape tool for drawing shapes. And the hand tool is used for what? To pan around. Okay, let's say you've zoomed in. If you want to zoom into your canvas. If you are using let me just show you. If you want to zoom, you use what? There's a magnifying glass here which you can pick, and then you can see it has turned to zoom. You click and then you zoom in. If you want to zoom out, you can change it up here and then you zoom out. Or if you want to zoom out, but now it is, you want to zoom, you are in, you want to zoom out, hold what? Alt. You see the sign has changed to what? Minus. So you click and zoom out. You leave it, you can zoom in and zoom that. So you alternate between what? The two zoom options. Okay, cool. And then if you are not on the zoom tool and you want to zoom in, if you are on the PC, hold Control Alt and then use your scroll wheel to what? You scroll in, scroll out, okay, scroll up, scroll down, you zoom. You can zoom with that. By holding my hands are still on Control and Alt. Okay, or you can press what? Control and space, and then it takes you that it brings what? The zoom to. Then you click. These are essential keyboard shortcuts. And if you want to zoom out, that is what? The minus. You are still holding what? Control and what? Space. Add what? The Alt in it. Alt. And then it becomes minus. Zoom out. And then you zoom out. That's how you use the zoom tool. So when you zoom in, you use this tool, the hand tool, to pan around. Maybe you want to see what is here. You want to see around. Okay, you use what? The hand to pan around. Okay, cool. Now I'm zoomed in. If I want to fit the canvas to the screen, okay, maybe I don't want to do this. I don't get time to do this. Just press Control plus what? 0, not O, 0. Yeah, the number, and then it fits to what? The screen. So that's basically what the tools. Let's come back to the panels on the right. Now let's look at layers. Properties is back again. I can still close it. I don't need it now. Let's look at the layers. These are called what? Layers. What are layers? Suppose an image is a book. Layers are what? The papers or the sheets in that book. Okay, so whenever they are creating an image, they do it with what? Multiple layers. Maybe you see someone's design and it's really nice, and you are thinking, how did this guy create this? He used what? Many layers. Then at the end, he would save the work, export. When he is exporting, all the layers will be flattened into one. Then you get what? A single image. But the image was created with what? Multiple layers. Every layer is like an image inside what? The image. Cool. So these are what? Layers. You can toggle them off, on. Okay, so let me fill this background with, let's see, a different color. So if you want to fill the background with different color, go to edit and head to what? Fill, and then go up here, change up here, select color. You can select any of these. So I'll select color. I want to fill it with something like yellowish, something for demonstration, something like this. Then you go to OK. Good. So this is my background now. I've changed the color of the background. So if I want to hide this layer, I just click this and it's gone. Okay, it's gone. It's hidden. So if I export this image right now, it's only what? Appear this color, yellow. Is it yellow? Yeah, a shade of yellow. You will not see this. But if I bring it back and export it, this will what? Appear on it. So that's how the layers work. You can create many layers, multiple layers, uncountable. Okay, and then you work with each of them. the layers, it's used for what? Organization. So you have what? Different parts of what? Your document or your image on different layers, so that whatever you do on this layer wouldn't affect what? This layer. That is the main reason why we create what? Layer, so that we can affect this image. We can do something to this image without what? Affecting this one. Do you understand? Cool. So aside toggling them on and on doing like this, you can also change what? Colors here. Okay, you can color here. You right click this, you see they'll give you what? Color. So you can change it. This one is good for what? Organization. You can change them. You can do that. And then come up here. We have what? This is kind. This is showing all the layers. You want to show maybe what type of layer do you want to see here. We have different types of layers. Okay, we have shape layers, we have smart object layers, and then we have what? Pixel layers. We have adjustment layers, a lot of them. So this is where you change which one do you want to see. Okay, so if you want to see selected layers, only that one will show. So sometimes you may be having many layers, and then you notice that you can't find them here. Check here. Okay, it's check here and select what? Kind. Means all kinds are going to show here. Okay, good. And let's come down. If you see a layer and then there's a padlock here, it means it's locked. Let me show you. So there's an example. This layer is locked. It's locked. You can't move it around. You see, it's not moving. It's not moving. Why? Because it's locked. It's locked. You can't move it. There are a lot of things you can't do with on a locked layer. If the layer is locked, you can't do a lot of things on it. Yeah. So let me unlock it. If you want to unlock it, just click what? The padlock. It's gone now. I can move it around. Now you can see what? The canvas. The canvas. This is transparent. Whenever you see this box, it means what? Transparency. Okay. This is an empty canvas. So let's bring back our image. So you can lock the layers and you can change what? Their opacity here. I don't want this layer to what? Display fully. I can change the opacity. You can see it's disappearing. You can change the opacity here. You can change the fill. That's what the color. You can change the color here. Okay, so if you've noticed, I click on a layer and then do something to that layer. It affects only that layer. It doesn't affect the rest. If I click on this one and start what? Pushing opacity, affects only that one. Cool. Cool, you got it. So, and if I want to move this, if I want to move the background, I have to click on the background before I come here to move. Okay, so look, I'm going to try to move this. I'm going to try to move this, but I haven't clicked on what? The shapes up there. I'm still on the background layer. So if I start moving, it's the background which is what? Going to move. It's the background which is going to move. You understand? Because the background is what? Selected. The background layer is selected. So if I select this and try to move the background is not moving. It's what? The shape which is what? Moving, because its layer is what? Selected. Cool. And sometimes you do that and it's not working. Though if you're using current versions of Photoshop, there's something called auto select. Look up here. Maybe you've toggled it on or off. If you bring it on, when you click on something, it will select it automatically for you without you coming to it. Move your layer up. Maybe you want to select this before you come and move, and AI will just pick it. So if I want to move this with auto select on, I'll just click here. It has selected what? That layer for me. Then I can start moving it around. Okay, so let me disable it. Maybe you are not having it. And then let's come down here. This is where you create a new layer. You can create multiple layers. This is where you create a new layer. And then this is where you delete the layers you don't want. Yes, it will ask you, do you want to delete? Yes. Do you want to delete? Yes. So you can what? Toggle, click this so that it doesn't ask you next time you want to delete it. Okay, cool. So, but I don't like toggling that because I may delete a layer which I don't want to delete, and I wouldn't be aware because I'm working with many layers. So that's where you create a layer, and then you can change the name of the layer by double clicking on the name. You can call this one, let's call this one black shapes. Cool. So after you click, you can title, so that you can organize your work. This is shapes, sea blue shapes. Too long, blue shapes. Yeah, sea blue is a shade of blue, so blue shapes, blue shape. Okay, you can organize. This is background. Cool. And then we have this. This is what group. It's used for grouping multiple layers. So maybe this. Let me change the color of this too. So I have these layers. I want to put them in a folder. Together. So I'll highlight them by holding the shift key. The three of them are highlighted. I'll click on the create new group, and then down. Now they are back in a group. The layers have been shifted into a group. So if you click this, toggle them out, you see they are heading over there. Good. And now our layers panel looks simple. You can rename groups too. Okay, you can call it anyhow you want. Cool. Let me just leave it. So that is that. And you can bring them out if you want to pick this out of the group. Pick it, drag it out. Now it's out of the group. Okay, if you want to send it in, drag it. You see the group is selected. Drop it in. Okay, yeah, that is the group for you. Let me delete it. Cool. So yeah, that's basically groups. I've brought all of them out. I don't need this. And then the layers are arranged. You can arrange them. So now you can see that the background layer is on top. So these ones are not displaying. Why? Because the background is opaque. If I reduce the opacity, you see the other layers hidden underneath it. They are showing now. If I close the opacity, you will not see it. Okay, you will not see. So that is that. And then if I want this shape, I'll bring it on top. What is up shows? Okay, that's that. And then these are for adjustment layers. We will come to that. For layer marks, we will come to that. Effects, link layers. Okay, cool. So that is basically the layers, the tools, and the interface and everything. Okay, cool. So now let's look at how to work with shapes, one or two shapes. Okay, so I'll go ahead and delete all these. If you want to delete a layer, you can just highlight it and press delete on the keyboard. It's gone. Okay, I created this layer. I'm not using it. This group, I'll just delete them. Cool. And then let me set my background back to white. So go to fill, edit, fill. You can also press Shift F5. Brings up the fill menu. Then you choose color. I'll go with white now. So now I've set my background back to white. Let's look at how to draw some shapes. Okay, so now let's look at let's draw a few shapes. Rectangular shape. Let's change the color here. You can change the color up here. Okay, and then whether you want to draw a path or a shape, you want to draw shapes or shapes, change the color up here, and you change the stroke if you want to stroke it. So let me pick this color, and then let me draw. Look at how the drawing it's going. Okay, so just leave it. Cool. So come to your layers panel. You can see it has created a new layer, which is shape. So it has created a new shape layer. Shape layers you see this what small thumbnail here. Okay, so it shows that it's a shape layer. Cool. So this is our shape layer. If you want to deselect it, just remove your hands from that too, and then this is the rectangle shape. You can change the color here, whether you want it a color or you want to gradient. You can use gradient here if you want. Okay, you can use pattern. Yeah, so I'll just stick with a normal color, and you can stroke it. Stroke is basically something which goes around the shape. Okay, so I can stroke it. Maybe which color? Any suggestions in the comment box? Okay, black. Yeah, black. And then this is where you change the size of the stroke. It's not showing because the size is small, so you change it, increase. I hope you can see now. Yeah, so this is it. And then how the stroke looks, you can make it these lines. If you want these lines, you change it. Yeah, so that is that. And there's the sizes, the width, and the height. Basically that is that. So that's if you want to change the shape of this rectangle, you can see these dots. Current versions of Photoshop, CS5, CS6, you may not have this. You may not have this. They may not be there. Okay, so but there are other ways you cannot do what I'm going to do. So when you go close to this, you will see that the cursor changes. Okay, so you can curve the corners. You see the corners curve. Cool. So let's take it back to how it was. Step back, step back. Step back, step forward. Cool. So that is the shape, and we have other shapes here. Let me go ahead and draw. The ellipse tool is used for drawing round shapes. Okay, circular. So this is it. This is the ellipse tool. Okay, you want to draw over circle. If you want it to be circular, as hold shift. Hold shift when you are drawing, and then it will be uniform. Okay, so this is a circle now. Hold shift. Don't leave it. Hold shift. So you leave your mouse, then you leave your shift. Okay, now it's a circle. Which one too? You can play with it. You can increase the size, decrease the size. Okay, you can see the size. I'm increasing and decreasing, but it's not uniform. If you want it to be uniform, still hold shift. Okay, you increase and decrease. Cool. Let me bring it here and change the color. Let me go with something like this. So now let's say you want to increase the size uniformly in such a way that every part will expand. Okay, so that it will still, you want to increase, expand it from the center. Yeah, that's the right phrase, expand from the center. So what you do is that hold alternative key if you are on Mac option, and then hold this corners, drag, expand. You see it's expanding from the center, expanding from the center, but it's still not uniform. So you can add shift to make it uniform. Okay, now I'm holding Alt and Shift, so it will expand uniformly. You leave your mouse, always leave your mouse before you leave your keys. Okay, cool. So that is that. And then we have other shapes here. We have the triangle shape. You also use it to draw triangle. Polygon shape for drawing polygons. You have 5-sided polygon and then 6. Okay, so you select any of them and then you draw. This is it. So that's the polygon. And then We have for line 2 for drawing lines. For drawing lines. So you hold shift to make it straight. Okay, so that is what horizontal. Go straight. That's a line 2. And you can decrease the size up here. All the shapes you've drawn, you can decrease sizes up there. Okay, so there's what the stroke size I'm decreasing. You can turn any of these off if you don't want. I don't want to fill it, so I'll turn the fill off by selecting this. Cool. So basically that is and then we have custom shapes which will appear here. You may be having different shapes here based on the version you are using. Okay, I haven't loaded the legacy, so you have custom shapes. These are animals, wild animals. We have boats. Okay, we have flowers. You have leaf, trees, a lot. So you just select. Okay, you select, and then you come here to what? Click and what? Hold and expand. So you are drawing it. You click and hold. You leave it. Cool. So this what? It's a boat, right? Yeah, it's the boat. This is a boat. Cool. So that's it. You can color it if you want. The same process. Cool. So if you have been taking note of the layers panel, you can see what there are many layers here. Every shape you create will form what? A new layer, unless there's a settings up here, unless what you have changed it. Go up here and look, you see what? New layer. So every shape will give me new layer. If I don't want the shapes to give me new layers, I'll what? Select this option, combine shapes, so that any shape that I draw or what, they will all stick together on one layer. So you demonstrate it. Okay, and then let me pick the rectangle, this two shape. So this, cool. You can see the shape is here, but a new layer was not created. I didn't mention this. You can what? Rotate. When you hover, you hover close towards the edges, and then you see the shape of the cursor changes. You can rotate. You can also do rotation at edit, transform. You can see, okay, you have rotation here, we have skew, flip, all that. You can do all that. So just play with what? Play and go through what? The software. Don't just watch the tutorial. Okay, as you watch, as I demonstrate, you watch and then you do the same thing. Okay, and then take time to what? Explore. Okay, click and then click on stuff which you don't know, and then when you do and maybe you know something has changed, you can always what? Revert. You can go back, you can start again, you can create a new document. So practice. Okay, so let me delete all this. Deleting this. Okay guys, so this is where we bring this tutorial to an end. If you really like this tutorial, make sure you leave a thumbs up and then leave a comment down below. That is how I know you like the tutorial and to motivate me to do more of these tutorials for you. Also, if you have any questions from what we did today, make sure you leave a comment down below. I'll do my best to respond to you as soon as possible. And don't forget that this course is in 2 sessions. This is part 1. Part 2 is going to be massive and it's coming out very soon. So if you haven't subscribed to this channel, make sure you subscribe and then click the notification bell so that when the next video is released, you don't miss out. Love you guys. Peace out. Bye.